Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Tony Pomps podcast. I got a special guest here tonight with me, Mr. Marc Antonelli.
How are you? Thanks for having me, Tony.
And I'm so glad that you agreed to be on the show tonight.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Well, this is a podcast, so things happen. Let me put this thing on silent.
Sure.
Anyway, so how you been, man? Everything good?
Very good. Everything is wonderful. We're continuing to perform and continuing to spread the good word of the amazing music that we perform on the
Absolutely.
weekends.
I hear you. So, you know what? I wanted to go back, just my experience when you first came to town a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all at the Palm Desert Resort, and our friend Tony DiGiorlano was singing.
Yeah.
And you came in with Sonny.
Yeah.
And
I can still see the lights behind him and everything.
and everybody's going, "Who is this kid? I mean, who is this guy? He wants to sing. All right, we'll let him sing a song."
Yeah.
So anyway, you went up there and sang a song.
Yeah, I remember distinctly. Sonny kind of bringing me up in the resort, kind of, where the dance floor was.
Yeah.
On the bottom section there, and then Tony was on this wonderful kind of up stage kind of patio area where there was all this wonderful tables and chairs, and there was a bar in the background. And this is when I first met the likes of you, and Sonny introduced me to Christy and Tony and all the wonderful desert people that were there. Yeah, and Fran, of course, you were. In fact, I think
never fails.
I think you were one of the first, if not the first, that I met. No?
Yeah.
But what made this so special in this night and was that Tony shared his stage with me, Tony DiGiorlano, and he didn't have to, and that was one of the most important things that I think and I believe gave me my start here in the desert.
Absolutely. You know what? One of the things I wanted to bring up was, I know a lot of the local singers that are here. Some of them are a little more on the elderly side. Yeah. And here comes this new young pup, in the town, and you blast the windows out of the place, and we're sitting there, and one of them, he's going to go on there and go, "We have no room for new singers in this town."
Well, I was very fortunate and very lucky that you all. It was a multitude of artists, of other local artists in the area, and also friends and colleagues, and that all lifted me, and not also me, but us up to the next level of where we belong.
So that's my experience where I first met you. But you know what? I want to go back. Let's go back to when you were a young man.
Yeah.
How did you become a singer?
Well, I started rather late. I was in high school, and I was always playing baseball. Baseball was my thing, and I was a pitcher, and I played little league. From t-ball to pee-wee to high school.
Totally understand.
And unfortunately, throughout my senior year in high school, I decided I was going to join the wrestling team. And I hurt my pitching shoulder in the I guess the process of one of the wrestling matches that I was in, and because of that, my baseball and pitching career was kind of a bit out the window. So my very good friend, and if I may, best friend from Boston, Big Rob, we still call him. He convinced me to join the choir at literally my first half of my senior year.
So you had never sang anywhere else, and then suddenly you joined this choir in high school, right?
Yeah. I would sing with my mom in the car when I was young, and there was nothing ever really, granted from it or anything, noticed by it. But it wasn't until, my senior year, where just about the first half, where I auditioned for my choir, my high school choir, and the audition process went, "Okay, Mark, can you sing this note?" Boom, and he hits the piano, and I sang it. And everyone kind of looked up, and he says, "All right," and he goes, "You know what? I think you'll be good." And so he goes, "You ever sang before?" And I go, "No, never really."
I'll be darned. Jeez.
No. And so he kind of took me under his wing. His name was Mr. Leg. And I remember you very much, Mr. Ligg, and thank you for all of your wonderful and amazing inspiration that you've given to so many amazing students at Whitman-Hanson Regional High School out of in Massachusetts.
So do you stay in touch with this gentleman at all, or?
No, we both kind of lost touch after I went to Berkeley. After community college, I went to community college after high school. I didn't go right into music school, unfortunately, because I started so late as a musician, and I did go into a bit of a depression in my senior year. I really had nothing else to turn to. So in doing that, I sacrificed a lot, and I guess in doing so, I decided to go to a community college to make sure I could garner my chops in music and also in other, I suppose, academic criteria that I wasn't so good at.
So did you
in high school?
Did you perform while in college as well? Did you do anything like plays or anything like that?
I did
musicals.
The big musical that garnered the attention of my family, and that it's a lot easier said than done to garner the attention of the Antonellis. Let me tell you. So, in doing that, I scored the role of Danny Zuko in Grease, and as a senior in high school. Yeah. And so, I mean, you can tell your family and parents and stuff that you're good at singing until you're blue in the face, but it's not until they experience you and take in and share in what you're trying to do, the artistic avenue that you're trying to take. I mean, you have to understand, when I was in high school, I was kind of following the footsteps of my father and being a businessman. He being a graduate of Northeastern University, having a football degree. I kind of had that looming over me in a sense, and the fact that that's where I should go.
Yeah, so, I totally understand. I follow my father's footsteps, and I get it. Whether I like it or not, that's how Italians are sometimes.
For sure, yeah. And my dad being very, very Italian. So to have that conversation with him about, listen, Dad, I know like we have this baseball and business kind of idea aside, but I can sing, and I want to drop all of that to pursue music. And sorry, I get emotional kind of thinking about it, because it was such a pivotal point in my life and my career, because it took such a long time to convince them that was what I was meant to do and meant to be.
Oh, so, you know what? That took a lot of courage on your part to have to do that. I recently saw a movie. It had to do with Lamborghini.
Sorry, bro.
And he had, no, it's good. Maybe it's good I bring this up.
It's okay.
So he had just gotten back from the war, and his parents had a farm in Italy. And of course, it got bombarded during World War II.
Yeah.
And he came back and his dad said, okay, we're going to be farmers. He goes, no, we're not. I want to build tractors. And his dad goes, what do you mean you want to build tractors? But anyway, it turns out he built a tractor and something about his brake system that was great. He went to Ferrari, talked to them. Ferrari told him, get out of here. And so he started a Lamborghini. Oh, I guess he became a success.
A huge success after that, right?
And guess what? He bought his dad the best farm that you could possibly think of at the end of the movie. So, that's our Italian roots. Sometimes you got to break loose. But, all right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So during this time, you're what, about 18, 19, 20 years old?
17.
17. So what kind of music did you like then?
I liked rock and roll.
Yeah.
And my mother was kind of the opposite end of kind of what I'm into now. My mother brought me up on the Doors and the Beatles.
Oh, man, yeah.
Pink Floyd, those kind of bands. And it just started to kind of progress from there with my mother anyway. She started to get into like a lot of the more current kind of like metal groups. And so I was an influence of all of that, and I grew up with all that. But my father's side of the family, John Antonelli, was they grew up with Mario Lanza and Frank Sinatra, and, those cats and stuff. So there was quite a balanced, you know what I mean? There was a, but I did, and I to admit, growing up, I kind of did fall into my mother's influence in the fact that I kind of did fall into that rock and roll category when I first started music. So
interesting.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't until much later when I found opera and found Josh Groban and Andrea Bocelli.
Gotcha. So once you completed your college situation, what was next?
Well, when I first decided I was going to get into the music avenue of school, I went from, of course, as I said earlier, community college in Massasoit in Brockton, Massachusetts, the home of the champions, as they say, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Rocky Marciano. I'm a boxing fan, so
so am I.
That's why I say that. So it wasn't until after my studies at community college where I decided to take my studies to the classical realm. But the classical realm only lasted a couple semesters. And as I said earlier, with my mom's influence with the rock and roll and, the contemporary aspect of that, I decided to take my efforts to Berklee College of Music after that.
And that would be clear across the country, right?
I mean, that was quite the opposite. It was across the street.
Really?
He's still in Boston, Massachusetts.
No kidding. So it was called. No, all this time I've known you when you said you went to.
It's a Berklee. I think that's a tech school.
Yeah. Okay.
But Berklee College of Music is in Boston.
I'll be darned. So I learned something today.
It's okay. No, it's okay. And so with that, I was able to with the help of my some wonderful advisors at the conservatory, because you have to understand I was a classical student going into a jazz program. Yeah. So that was kind of.
And this is another phase.
Yeah.
It's a third phase.
So unheard of. Yeah. It's so unheard of. And like I literally was left, I mean, not to get into anything negative at all, but these were learning experiences.
Of course.
And I remember being in a specific improv class at Berklee. This was after my studies at being a classical student, and just about being laughed out of the class because of the fact that I was a classical student, being in a jazz program. And so one of the introductions of this class was for everyone to go around, and all the students were in a circle, and all the students were advised to improv their name. Like, hi, my name is, and I didn't know what that even meant. I didn't know what improv was as a classical student, So, so I'm like literally sweating bullets as every person sounds like Christina Aguilera and like John Legend and like all these wonderful R&B cats and pop cats, and they get to me and I don't know what to do other than say, my name is Marc. And I just kind of stopped like that. And the teacher just kind of looked at me and was like, okay, so what are you doing here? Like you're in a jazz school, son.
You're in the wrong place. So.
Right. You're in the wrong alley, man. But you know what? I kind of just went like, that's right. I am. And that's why I'm here. I want to learn. I want to be, outside the box. And so that was that moment where I said, okay, this is something that I want to do because of the challenge of it, of being an outsider coming in, So I suppose that it.
So I gotta ask this question. So what did the other students that were in the circle? What do they do when you belted that out?
There was a bit of if forgive that expression, but like a. Okay, like okay.
Like what?
So this guy does not sing jazz or blues. So I was, and it turns out throughout my studies at Berklee. Now there was about 5 semesters there, right? Turns out there's like a small niche of us that are all doing the same thing, and we kind of stuck together through our times. And fast forward, okay, 6th semester at Berklee College of Music. I'm at a private party in Brockton, Massachusetts, called, forgive if I say the name incorrectly, Brockton, Marciello's. I believe it's a cafe, and they were celebrating a wonderful boxer there, and named Marc DeLuca, and friends of mine had me perform from Boston, of course, from the North End in particular. And they had me perform a couple Italian songs. And it was from that gig, where this particular gentleman asked me to perform at a Italian restaurant that he owned. And he also happened to be involved and owned with another partner a place called the Boston Winery. So the Boston Winery is where I was discovered professionally, on a serious sense.
So this is where you had an opportunity to start making a living.
Where my parents started to like raise eyebrows, like, okay, maybe
this guy's got something.
Exactly. So I literally was singing for bottles of wine.
Well, that's a start.
It was a great start. So, and I made some great friends along the route. I made some great friends with colleagues. I made some other wonderful musician friends. And in the midst of this, I met a particular woman who offered me kind of a deal of a lifetime to drop school, to drop everything I was doing, to make it famous in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And I took it. And next thing I know, and it was a bit of a different avenue in the fact that, from my point of view, I was giving everyone my info. And in this particular scenario, she was giving me her info and telling me to contact her. And then she literally was like, bye. So I was like, okay, awesome. So I started to write out the email, and I got my dad on board, Johnny, love you, brother, at the time. And we ended up flying down on an expense to Atlantic City, and this is one of the most pivotal parts of my life, because this was the moment that made me quit school. Being 6 semesters in, I was in a round table, and they brought me up to the executive offices of the Tropicana in Atlantic City. And right in front of me was Marc Antonelli, who's the president, or was the president at the time, of the Tropicana, and is now the president, CEO of Resorts in Atlantic City. Love you, brother. And at the time, also the entertainment director was there, as well as the marketing director. And so Marc Antonelli, the president of the Tropicana, is sitting there with me at the front there, with my dad right next to me, and this woman who is kind of like taking me under her wing in a sense.
Trying to promote you.
Right. And this the CEO, Mark, says, okay, kid, what do you got?
So how old are you at this point?
I must have been 19.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, honestly, sir, I can only just show you my bread and butter. And I just, I had my laptop at the time. I opened it up. I got the track up, and I play a Josh Groban song in Spanish,
Yeah. And
normally, and it got the normal response that I usually do with like a Josh Groban foreign song, where there's kind of that like wonder of like, what is he singing? But it's beautiful, And so after that, everyone was kind of like, okay. And of course, the CEO, Marc Antonelli, he goes, okay, what else you got? And I went, you know what? I'll tell you what I got. Here's a song from Frank Sinatra. And my laptop. It's like the big band starts, and Come Fly With Me,
Yeah.
And I start with the Come Fly With Me, let's fly, baby. And I started to dance around the entire.
You started dancing around
the entire like executive offices, and I'm like, I didn't get on the table, but I think that was going to be the next step. So and at the time also, my voice coach was in at the round table too, Sal Dupree, and who's from New Jersey, Linwood. Love you, Sal. And they were all just after everything was done, Marc Antonelli, there was like that, and I don't mean to say an awkward pause, but there was that kind of like 5 seconds, 6 seconds of silence, which is a lot of time.
Well, you've probably been amazed. You're a 19-year-old kid.
Dude, that's and to have 6 seconds of silence in that kind of scenario is really intimidating. So about 6 seconds later, we're all just kind of looking at each other, and Marc Antonelli sits back and he goes, kid, 5 years from now, remember us. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time. I'm a kid. I don't know. So I said, okay, and my dad just was a bucket of tears next to me. And,
now he's a believer.
Believer. That made him a believer. That then and there, that moment. And so this woman who brought me into this to start this whole thing to begin with, she was also just ecstatic with joy and
I could imagine,
and pride and all that. And so the Tropicana gave us a start at the wine lounge, which was at the top of the Trop, at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. And then just a few months later, I got the promotion to be in Tango's lounge, which was downstairs in the main,
kind of like a main room,
the main lounge room. So, but here was the thing, though, bro. I had to know my rock music. I had to know my pop music. I had to know the current stuff,
a little bit of everything.
And I was so I can't do this. I remember having that moment many times of just I can't do this. I have no idea what I'm doing. There's no way I can learn Lady Gaga and Green Day and all these different artists and also do Michael Bublé and Josh Groban, Andrea Bocelli
in a short period of time as well.
Are you guys all out of your minds? But you know what? I sat back and I said, I can do this. I got this. And I use my hope, my faith, my love, and it came together.
You got the job done.
And here's the wonderful part. This is the sweetest part, I think, is that once they brought me down to that lounge, that main lounge, about 6 months later, I got the call that I was going to be promoted to the showroom, the main 2,200 seat theater.
So how long were you there at this point?
This was 2010 to 2011.
Over a year.
Yeah, it was
fast.
It was very, very fast, and I believe that was one of the most, and I still say this, the most amazing, but yet the most intimidating aspect of my life and career, as a performer starting off, because there was just so much so quickly, and because of that, you kind of you give in to those those temptations that are in that realm.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. You're a young guy, and you're just kind of been thrown into the limelight here.
Yeah,
You're around a whole bunch of people. Let's face it. I'm assuming that there's a lot of mobsters around in those days as well. No problem with me. Okay, I'm going to witness protection program over here in Palm Springs. but anyway, so what was the next move?
Okay, so fast forward, after we do this wonderful headlining act at the Tropicana, I decide that I'm going to take my efforts and my career into the hands of a wonderful man named Jim Passio. And Jim Passio has had my back since then. And that was, I suppose, from the end of 2010 up until now. So
this gentleman is commonly referred to here as Jimmy.
Yeah. The simply as Jimmy. So Jimmy's been such a pivotal part of my life and my career. He's kind of like a father to me, and he's always been. And he gives me advice like a father would.
Trusted individual.
Yeah, beyond that. So to be amongst his company and amongst his energy is an honor, and I mean that from my heart. So love you, Jimmy. So after the Tropicana, we decided we were going to take our efforts to Philadelphia, and we crossed into South Philly, and right towards the end of our tenure at the Tropicana is when I was introduced to a wonderful and marvelous video crew, which starred the likes of Sonny Velozzi.
Our boy, Sonny Velozzi.
And Joey I.
Joe, oh my God. This is a bunch.
Bob Bizick.
Bob Bizick. Wow.
Joe Polito. And actually this particular night was a show that Joe Polito, Sonny, Joey I, Bobby, we're all putting together. And I believe it was called Celebrity Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
first interview show.
Yeah. And that happened to be my first interview ever. Like,
here we go. Another new avenue.
Yeah. Right. So it was just like that. This was the first time that I met Sonny. It was the first time I met Joey and all those guys, and man, what a trip. What a trip.
Well, I could imagine.
That interview's on YouTube still. That
really?
Interview's right on there.
We're gonna check it out.
Yeah. I was a kid. I still had my Boston accent and everything.
So how long did you stay in Philly?
Oh, let's see. 2010 to about 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
2014, and then I made my way to California, to Southern California, where I attempted to make an album with a local music producer.
This would be in LA.
Yeah, in the Studio City, to be exact.
Yeah.
And so I was recording at the Casey Kasem recording studio over there.
Familiar with Casey Kasem.
Over by the Universal Studios lot,
Yeah.
And so anyway, we did a bit of a demo there. And that's released on Spotify at the moment. But there wasn't a lot of marketing towards it, but it was more of a project that I believe that we all kind of wanted to get out, and we all wanted to just at least try our hand in something, regardless of where that something took us. I think we just wanted to, and Jimmy included, we just wanted a shot, And so regardless of where that shot took us, we decided to go to Las Vegas after the California stint in Studio City. And this was around 2016 now, 2017. And so now this is one of my favorite parts to tell about this story, because I had to start all over again, but kind of in Las Vegas now.
Yeah, now you're being presented in front of some new people.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got some little experience now.
Yeah, I had this resume, and I was like, listen, I was a headliner at the Tropicana, at resorts, and we even had a stint at Taj Mahal, Trump's property there at the time. And they all the Vegas people all kind of looked at me, the agents, and they went, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what? And so I went, okay, So I remember I met this wonderful agent, and I'm still so thankful for him, because he ended up getting me my first, was a big hand in getting me my shot with Andrea Bocelli in his choir, So,
yep.
But this man is named Steve Byer, and I remember sitting in front of his office. And so green, right from Atlantic City, And he goes, "What do you got?" He's saying kind of the same thing.
Still a young kid,
right? And I think I showed him like a couple of YouTube videos and stuff, and he goes, "How about you do one better? Let me take you to my studio up there. I got lights, I got a stage." I go, "All right, great." And I do music of the night for Steve Byer, and he has the phone like this. He's recording it. He's going, "Oh my God." Okay, so the end of that audition happens. I go into his office, and he looks at me, and he was very upfront and very honest, which to this day I'm very thankful for, because he helped me very, very much. And he goes, "Well, Mark, you're gonna hate what I'm about to say, but we're gonna start you off in the gondolier program at the Venetian." And I went, "The what?
The what?"
And he goes, "I don't run that program, but there's an agency that does. And I'm going to send you to them. They're doing auditions coming up, and you do your thing. And I'm telling you, you're going to get it." And I went, "Okay." And he goes, and I'll never forget these words. He goes, "It's going to suck."
Back into a gondola.
And he goes, "But the outcome is going to be well worth it." And I just said, "Okay, let's do it."
Hey, got to start somewhere.
Let's do it. So that's what I did. I auditioned for the gondolier program in Las Vegas at the Venetian. I earned my striped shirt and my hat, with the sash.
I've seen the gondoliers.
Right. So if you were there, and those of you who are watching, if you were there in 2017, 2018, you were in the outdoor gondola ride, right? You saw me. Dressed up to the nines, singing opera, rowing boats.
Did you ever fall in by any chance?
No. But I have seen a couple fall in. Hey, guests.
Yes, yeah.
So let's fast forward here. So I'm about 3 years into my stint as a gondolier.
Okay? 3 years.
Yeah. So we're like,
wow.
17, 18, 19. So like just about the beginning of 20. So it's like 2.5 years into it. And I got a promotion again to be the lead singer of the Venetian Trio.
There you go.
And the Venetian Trio was kind of, it's an extension of the program that the agency was involved with the gondolier program. And there was a guitarist, an accordion player.
Oh, God.
And me singing. And if you've been to the Venetian, for you guys, you know, like when you go in and you walk into the main foyer there, and you see the painted ceiling of the clouds, and it feels like you're in Venezia, right? And you see the gondola boats going by you, and you see the Canaletto restaurant, which is directly ahead of you, Mercato, which is right to the right, and there was me in the middle of this kind of gazebo.
Beautiful city.
Just singing just letting it all go with like "O Sole Mio" and "Time to Say Goodbye" and just all these wonderful Italian classics. And so to be able to kind of grow from that, you know, from the gondolier program was really special. And so during the midst of that program, that I suppose that stint, I did not realize that I was working with one of the lead choir members for Andrea Bocelli.
There we go. Yes.
So I found out through the grapevine of a friend of mine named Victoria that she was friends with this particular person, and she goes, you know, I can get you in. And I went, what? She goes, just I want to hear you sing. You know,
yeah.
Go around the.
Now, when you say get you in, we're talking about at a Bocelli concert with the team of singers that he had?
She claimed at the time to at least get me an audition with the choir for Andrea Bocelli. Gotcha. And I said, you know what, if I can get that opportunity, that's all I can ask for.
Beautiful.
That's wonderful. So, but she needed to hear me sing. She goes, let me hear you do your thing. So I'm on the outdoor ride on the gondola, and I'm doing my thing with my guests. Hello, my name is Marco. Welcome to Venezia, sort of, you know. So, and so
I love it, man.
So I get to the end of the ride, and I did that one te partero, and I look over at Victoria, and she's just kind of going like this. And I get, you know, to the end of the ride, and she goes, "Okay, let's get you in front of Robert." Who was the guy in charge of bringing people into the choir. So turns out he's on the morning shift of the indoor gondola ride. This guy, Robert, this wonderful gentleman, by the way, wonderful guy. You know, a couple conversations in, I start like picking his brain a little bit, and finally I get the word from Robert. So I heard from Victoria that you can, you know, you're interested in being in the Bocelli choir. And I was like, you got that right. So she goes, all right. He goes, okay, come on over to our first rehearsal, and we'll see, you know, what you got and what you do. So I went over there, and it was, I guess you can fast forward 3 Vegas shows later for Andrea Bocelli. As part of his choir, I was selected for those performances, and he's coming around again. I'm not sure if I can say that right now, but he's coming around again in December, which we're all very excited to be a part of again.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So there's wonderful things happening there, and so I've so much to thank Vegas for, and also to thank Vegas for in the future as well when I return. So it's going to be a wonderful time this next decade, to say the least, for Marc Antonelli.
So We'll go back to where I first saw you.
Sure.
When you walked into the Palm Desert Resort.
Yeah.
And let's talk about what you're currently doing.
Well, from Tony DiGirlando's wonderful generosity of his stage for me, where we all remember that performance.
That's right.
Nessun Dorma, yeah. And that's on YouTube, by the way. From there, we all had that wonderful performance where we all gathered together again at the Venezia in Palm Springs.
Remember that
Italian restaurant. And they were great owners over there, Massimo and Annie. We love you. And I remember from that specific gig, that opening night, and if I may rewind a bit, the way I got to Palm Springs, I would love to explain.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, this is all great.
Yeah. So I'm kind of doing my thing in Las Vegas. You know, I'm the lead singer at this time. It's around 2019.
Yeah.
We're going into 2020 at this point. And I'm just, I'm the lead singer of the Venetian Trio now. I'm a gondolier. I'm really just, I'm doing my thing, you know. And I get a call from Jimmy for my past conversation, for my past story, my wonderful manager, my wonderful mentor. And he says, guess who called me? And I go, who? Sonny Velozzi. And I go, oh, you're kidding. What happened? What is he saying, this guy? And Jimmy goes, he says he's got an opportunity for you. Palm Springs. I go, where the heck is that?
No, let me ask you, how long were you here, by the way, when that happened?
At that time, probably maybe a year.
You were here about a year, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now you're being recruited to come to Palm Springs.
Well, I don't know I didn't really know what this area kind of embodied, at the time, other than the name Palm Springs, So at the time in my career in Las Vegas, where I saw that it was going and also saw where it was not going, right? I said, you know what? Let's take this wonderful basket of Las Vegas, right? And let's just give it away. Give it to him give it back. Just give it back to him. And let's see where Palm Springs takes it. Let's do something new, right?
Right.
So I took a chance. I restarted my life, packed up my bag, took my cat with me, and we ventured off. We ventured off, man, and we landed. The first place that Sonny Velozzi had me live was the Purple Room.
At the hotel.
I'm going to say that's the second place. The
first place, don't say any names.
No. It just ended with Lodge.
Okay. Ay.
That was a Trinidad.
Yeah.
That was the second place.
Trinidad was the second place. But okay, the experience was beautiful and wonderful, and from there I was able to meet your wonderful and beautiful family. I was able to meet Christy and her wonderful family, and Sonny was able to introduce me to so many wonderful other friends, and this has been such a blessing being here. So when we arrived to Palm Springs, this is in 2020.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
almost 4 years ago.
And now the pandemic at this point, you have to understand, is looming.
Yep.
Right? It's looming behind us. So I get a frantic call from Jimmy Passio. David Foster's coming to the McCallum Theater. Sonny Velozzi. David Foster's coming to McCallum, and we got somebody that can get you in to sing for him. Give us a CD. Okay, boom, everything gets in there. And I'm just kind of like, I'm just throwing all my eggs in it. Like, let's do this, man, right? And in the back of my head, there is that little bit of doubt, right? We all have that as artists.
Yeah.
That little bit of doubt that says, nah, it can't be, right? It can't be. That's not for me. That can't happen. No way. Fast forward. We get to McCallum Theater, 2020. Fourth row. David Foster says, all right, does anyone want to sing? And I raise my hand like, what? No way. And he goes, you.
No, can I ask you a question? Were you wearing anything that was standing out?
The first time, I was wearing a red velvet jacket.
There you go.
The first time. Now the second, may I say a shout out to our friend here for this? Okay, so there were two huge opportunities I had with David Foster. So the second opportunity was the biggest one out of all of them. This is what got it started really seriously. So this was at the Indian Wells Tennis Stadium. And I was lucky.
Right.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be performing at Chef George's Picasso Lounge at the time, who are dear friends of ours. And they had some wonderful executives from the Eisenhower Foundation come in, and they were doing a 50th anniversary celebration that was coming up at the time. And the representatives of that wonderful foundation came up to me and said to me that David Foster is coming to town, and we would love to have you involved, but we don't know how. Right? We don't know how. And I said, okay. So just let me know, right? And I'll be here. And so all the thank yous, all the hugs, all the cards, all the business cards. And so I get an email that says, listen, you want to come to the show? You're invited. We'll give you a seat, you and a guest. It'd be a VIP experience. Andrea Bocelli's going to star. David Foster's going to host it. Jay Leno is going to be opening. Right at the tennis court, right here.
Yeah.
Right?
The backyard.
I'm going, what? This is like insane. So I get this. We get to the stadium. We're in the stands, and what a view we have of like the VIP section here. And like all those wonderful round tables. You've been to the the alleys and stuff. And David Foster, sure enough, comes on. He's like, this is an amazing event, but first let's introduce Jay Leno. Jay Leno comes on, does his, stand-up routine. And
one of my favorites.
Yeah, he was wonderful. He killed. He was so beautiful. He was so funny. And so then Andrea comes on, and he does his opening number, which was Ave Maria. And it's like one song goes in, 2 songs, 3 songs. And then David Foster, of course, is playing piano throughout all of this.
Yeah.
And he gets up from his piano, David Foster, and Andrea is standing there at that microphone. And he goes, okay, now comes the time of the show where I call someone out in the audience to sing in front of everyone.
And this is a packed stadium.
2,300 people. I mean, you can't even imagine the sea of the view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the sea of people. And I don't know this view right now at this point yet, right? So I'm just standing in the stands at the time, sitting in the stands. And does anyone want to sing? David Foster says from the stage. And he goes like this, and me. Everyone's saying me. I'm gonna do a plug here, if that's okay.
What?
Frank Monteforte gave me an amazing, which I still have, a beautiful white dinner jacket.
Oh yeah, well, we all have a Monteforte,
right?
We call them the Monteforte.
So I was wearing that tried and true, just with the most pride and the most love. And I stood up in all of that pride, brother. And I went, and I pointed my finger way up in the air. You can't see it in the camera. My finger's pointing way up, and I pointed right at David, and he saw me. He saw me point at him, and he goes, "You?" And I go, "Me? Can you sing?" And I go, "Yeah."
A little.
Right. And he goes, come on down, right? And so
come on down.
I'm in the stands, right? Yeah. And so he, like, his crew, like, starts to walk up like the rafters towards me. And I'm like, whoa. And they all kind of circle me, and they bring me down. Boom, boom. And the VIP section now is getting closer and closer. And I'm like, wow. And I'm starting to see faces I recognize, like, like important faces, celebrity faces, And I get to the backstage, and I see even more just beautiful guests. Wow. I see Pia Toscano, who's a wonderful singer, coming down the stage from her segment. I see Veronica Bocelli, Andrea's wife, who's sitting on the side with Andrea, sitting on a chair right in the backstage. And I'm just looking at Veronica because earlier in the evening, I had met Veronica in a photo op and I kind of berated her a bit, and I was like, "Can I take a photo, please? This is." I was such a fan, but you know what? It was awesome, and she totally got it, and she agreed, and we took a photo together. So anyway, so to be able to kind of like revisit that moment with her in that moment was really wonderful. So when she saw me, it was kind of like a destiny, and I get up on stage. And I'm face to face with Foster, man, and
right then
and there, I'm face to face with the guy that has meant so much, not only for me, but for so many other amazing performers, before me, and here too as well. And he goes, "All right, kid, remember the rules. Know the words. Know the key. What are you gonna do?" And he throws the microphone like right in my face. And I leaned in and I go, "Music of the night, Phantom of the Opera, D flat major." And the entire audience, ooh. You have to understand, this is in the middle of an Andrea.
Of course.
Concert, right?
Yeah.
So it's like unheard of. They're like, is this kid out of his mind? Is he nuts? So, and by the way, yes. So
it's okay. You got to be a little nuts.
You got to be. So, fast forward a bit, a couple minutes, and we figure out the key of the song, and I close my eyes, I let her rip, and the only words I hear from David Foster are "awesome." I see a thumbs up in front of me, and a great job, which is also a wonderful compliment to hear from the maestro. So, and also an unheard of compliment.
So where was Bocelli this whole time?
So this is what made this really, really surreal for me. Is I didn't really know what to do after that moment, because there was like, you could see me like grab whatever that the invisible brass ring, whatever, and I just kind of like walked off with it and just waved at everyone. And as I was going down the stage stairs, and this is what the camera didn't show, Andrea was the first to greet me off the stage with Veronica, his wife.
Oh, nice.
And her head was kind of peeking behind his shoulder, right here. And Andrea was kind of looming. And I say looming because there was this very kind of fatherly aspect, where I just was like, "Andrea," like, right. And I was so excited. And he just kind of looked at me and was like, or rather loomed down at me and said, calm yourself. Because I was like a jumping bean, just, "Oh my gosh, Andrea." And I calmed down and I said, and I don't know what got into me at this point, but this is always something that I found to be very prominent in talking to him. And I said to him, "Andrea Bocelli, it has been my dream since I was very young to do exactly what you are doing, which is traveling the world and sharing with the world the gift that you," and I point right at him, "you and I have both been given from the man upstairs." Now, I'm not sure if the translation was exactly translated, but Veronica certainly understood, and I believe Andrea understood as well. And we all just had this wonderful, just that feeling of just like, yes. And I don't even think we knew what that meant at the time, but it just felt good. It felt right.
Yeah.
Right. And I looked at him and Veronica and I said, "We are one." And I just gave him one of these and went back to my floated back to my seat.
Probably don't remember how you got there.
No, I don't remember how I got back. No, I think there was some sort of levitation for sure.
So are there any other highlights that you want to bring up before we talk about your current residency?
Yeah. So after that, I was able to travel back to Las Vegas to perform with Andrea, with the choir. And after that, I was even able to do a private gig with Pia Toscano.
I remember hearing about that.
At the Stone Eagle Country Club here. And it's amazing how everything happens here in the desert, man.
It's
everything.
I'm glad you're here.
It's amazing. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're all here. We all get to give our own, share our own gifts in our own special way. And I think that's so important because together we all make love and wonderful things. Okay.
So why don't you tell the folks about your current residency?
So folks, I have a residency currently. We're on year 1 of 5. We signed a 5-year deal with Indian Wells Resort Hotel.
Beautiful.
Every Friday and Saturday evening, we celebrate the songs and arrangements of, and now we celebrate the songs and arrangements of David Foster, Josh Groban, Michael Bublé, and Andrea Bocelli. So to be able to breathe new life into these songs and is beyond an honor. And I try not to get emotional because
it's okay.
I fight it because I don't want to be overwhelmed. I want to be focused, and I want to adhere to the ones that have come before me.
Well, let me say something now. Very important. I think we've been very fortunate to hear the entire story from the very beginning from Marc Antonelli.
It's been a lot.
And I'll tell you, the story is only beginning. This is a very young man still. And you know what? The sky's the limit. I think that I'm so glad that we sat here, and not only did I learn something about you that I really didn't know all the details, but I hope that you reminisce to where you can remember a lot of things, where you came from,
for sure,
and how much more work you need to do to get to where you need to be, because you should be.
I feel that we're all students of this game. And I feel like as long as we all can understand that we're all students and we're all constantly learning. And that goes for everyone that's listening to, whether you're an up-and-coming actor or a musician or a performer or singer or fisherman, whatever. Like we're always striving to learn. And that is so important.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. God gave you this great gift.
Yes.
And you're going to continue working on it.
Sure.
And continue using it and continue performing and impressing all of us.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Love you.
It's an honor. Love you
Okay.
too.
Thanks for being on the show.
It's an honor.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Tony.
You bet.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. All right, Mike, what do you got to say?
Great.
Christy was here for an hour and a half.
Well, by
Christy!
the way, we're still on.
I know. Christy's going to come on and tell you the current events.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Well,
You
this
want
is
to bring
wonderful.
Franny in and say a couple words?
Yeah, let Franny come in over here.
Come on, Fran.
Franny, come over here.
Yes,
You know,
I
I'm going to have you stand for a minute. Come here. Okay, why don't you stand right here? You don't have to sit down. Just for a moment. Okay? No, just come here. Come here by me.
I can go in between them after.
Yeah, you know what? Come here. There we go. This is, everybody knows my wonderful wife, Franny. And I'm a very fortunate guy that she allows me to do all these cool things between podcasts and acting. And, you know, sometimes she's there watching me doing my thing. And I really appreciate it. So what did you think of the whole Antonelli interview?
It was great.
That was great. I love that. Because the last time you said it was, Franny, what'd you think of our last time? It was okay. So it was great. And, you know, we're blessed to have him here, actually in our home.
I know.
Okay? So along with Christina as well. So, alrighty. You ready to go, kid?
I'm
All
ready.
right. You want to stay here with us?
I guess, yes.
Yeah, come here. Let's scoot you forward. And Christy, you want to stand up or you want to
Yeah, I'll
pull up a
stand.
chair? Okay. So Christy is going to join us and talk about current events. Honestly, our last podcast, we had some technical difficulties, and we're going to redo those as well. But we want to make sure that Christy does her part on what's going on around town.
Right. Okay. I just want to mention about Oscars, you know, and everybody's been at Oscars in Palm Springs. And every Saturday they have it's called the Bitches Brunch. And they have a show at 10 o'clock in the morning. And they have one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a drag show. And the host there is Anita Rose. And you know Anita Rose. Remember she was on the show?
Yes.
So Anita Rose is the host over there. And I happened to have the pleasure of going there a couple of times. And it was exciting. It was a lot of fun. The entertainment is fabulous. Everybody has to go there. And it's a wild crowd over there. But it is a lot of fun. And downtown Oscars on, I think, Takowitz?
Takowitz and
Indian Canyon.
Yeah.
On that. And also next Thursday, actually every Thursday at Mitch's, they have the fashion show. And I think Franny, you and I went to the fashion show like 12 to 2. And I've had, it's gone shopping and stuff. And years ago, Mitch is doing the fashion, modeled for them. And they asked me to come back. So I'm going to do the fashion show next week from 12 to 2 on that. And so if any ladies want to come for, lunch and fashion, it's 12 to 2 every Thursday. And Alex Santana also plays the guitar there on Wednesdays.
Very talented young man.
Yes, very talented a young man there. And also there was a new trend of the Palm Springs Surf Club. If anybody has known anything about that, I'll get more information on that. But that's a big trendy thing of the Palm Springs Surf. Yeah, and that's off of Gene Autry.
That used to be the old Knott's Berry Farm.
Was it?
Yeah, it used to be at Water Park.
Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
Oh,
way back when.
Yeah.
I never remodeled it and reopened it.
Yeah.
But I heard it's pretty cool, by the way.
Also on Wednesday, Brian Scott from 7 9 is at the Roost, country singer. All that. And it's
great guy.
So every Wednesday, and we really don't have any country singers here.
Great guy, great singer.
We don't have any country singers. So he's fabulous, and he's got a really strong voice when it comes to that. And this is the 20th and the 27th at the Desert Island is the Fun with Dick and Jane.
A new venue for them, right?
Yeah, a new venue for them. It's only for those 2 Saturdays. That's it. They're doing that. And then we have the Bobaloos. We have the Bobaloos Thursday. We have Bobaloos. We have Jeff Cantor, who is you always say it.
He's a
DJ, Gold Dust.
Right. And he's there from like 7 to 10.
And Wednesday?
Wednesday is Bob Schuster with the last Minutemen. And then Sunday, the following Sunday, Candy Quaid's going to be there. She's just going to have one appearance over there.
Good for her.
Yeah, she didn't come to my birthday over there. We had a party, so she felt that she wanted to come and do a few songs over there. So that's Sunday. Cool. And then I guess on that Monday evening, we have Brad Mercer.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because he has a new, I think he has a new band there.
I saw that.
Yeah, so he has a new band there. So, there's so many things going on. It's interesting to stop in, even at Indian Wells there. Marc Antonelli's there Friday and Saturday night. What is it, 6 to 9? 6 to 9 is always fun. It's always great. It's classy, very classy. Very classy place over there. And then they have Thursday nights. They have Christine Love. Over there Wednesday, they have, is it Patrice? Patrice Morris is over there on Wednesday. And they have a lot of different people. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm going to say something. Our friend Tim Bryant, who's been on this show, is another Western singer. We're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't want to forget Tim. He's a great Western singer.
Yeah. Great guy, too.
Great guy.
Handsome man.
He doesn't have a residence anywhere yet, but he's been at Sun City, is it? Del Webb?
Lots of Sun City.
I've heard him there, and he's a really nice, good-looking guy, too.
Yeah, if you want to hear him, he actually sang at the Marc and Tony reunion show.
Right.
The first.
Yeah, right.
They did a great job.
Yeah, so he did a good job, too. So we got, pretty much a lot of different things going on, and I'll keep you up on a lot of other stuff, and I'll try to get some more information.
So if you wake up for a minute, so what do you think about all these events? You want to go to any of them?
Sure.
Yeah, you ready to go?
Yep.
How about Tuesday night? Where do you want to go Tuesday?
You know how much I like to play.
I know. You like to, if I were for you to go out every night. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Well, listen, folks, thank you very much for joining us. We had a great show tonight. A little long, but hey, listen, It was worthwhile. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
All right.